morning. So that was our night in the a little bit of a stranger hotel, I would say. Julie, as she said, maybe thought that maybe this was just this used to be a dormitory for like factory workers, which makes sense because this is, as I said, like a steel factory town. So there's a big steel factory right there. So it might have been just that. Yeah, it was very rustic, very Spartan, very minimal, I would say. The toilets were kind of separated, and also kind of separated kind of the toilets where you had the men's toilet and kind of women's toilet combined. Overall, just a kind of a weird place. But since we are out in the sticks, you don't really have that much choice because there's essentially almost no hotels here because I don't think a lot of people come here essentially for tourism. But yeah, right now we are going back to the train station. It's going to be a 2-hour ride, and then we are going to the Iwate Tsunami Prefecture Museum, which is, as the name suggests, a museum all around the tsunami 10 years ago. Yeah, they only opened it recently, around 2 years ago, so it's still very new, and it's still not completely finished, but I think it's almost there. So we're gonna go check that out, and then we're gonna continue down on the coastline, essentially all the way to Miyagi Prefecture, to check out some more natural beauties in this country. Yeah, first stop, train station. As I mentioned earlier, the good thing about traveling on the like local train lines is that you can kind of see places that you wouldn't see otherwise. Right now we are at Sakari station, which is a very small station, but there's nothing around this station essentially. It is on the end of the Sanriku Tetsudo line, which runs all the way from the top in Aomori Prefecture all the way down to here. And yeah, we are transferring here to the GR lines and gonna continue down for another like 45 minutes or so until we reach the Iwate Prefecture Tsunami Museum, which is going to be in the station that is called Kiseki no Ipponmatsu, which means the miraculous single pine tree. And there's an interesting story about it I'm going to tell you a little bit later once we get to the station. But yeah, for now we'll have another 30 minutes. That's kind of the downside of having to travel with the local lines, so that the transfer times are sometimes like 45 minutes or up to an hour. So yeah, and yeah, as you can see, there's nothing around, so we just, yeah, can't really do anything. That was probably one of the most interesting bus rides of my life. Did you think it was interesting as well?
No.
So what made this bus ride so special, I think, was before where the bus is riding there used to be a train, but I think big parts of it were obviously washed away of the train lines, and I think what they did is, instead of rebuilding the entire train line, which obviously takes a lot of money and time, what they did essentially is instead, along the kind of train tracks, they just built a paved road but it's only usable for the bus. So it's only a single paved road that the bus runs on. It's similar to a train, like there's only one lane, so if another bus comes on, the bus has to actually wait at the station. Has to wait for the other bus to pass. And yeah, it is included in the same kind of pass that the train would otherwise be included in. So I think it's a really good example of what you can do if you just think about it, because I've never seen a concept like this where you would essentially have a bus train, more or less, a special road just for the bus. So yeah, I think that was really interesting, personally. And yeah, right now we are in, what you can see behind me is the museum that we came for. And yeah, this area is just completely flat. There is nothing much left other than this museum. There's some construction still going on, but yeah, not an awful lot left. And first up, we're gonna go check out the kind of miracle pine tree. I think there's some coin lockers over there, so we can leave our bags there. But yeah, we're gonna check out the miracle pine tree, which is just over there, and then gonna go inside the museum. What I mentioned earlier is the miraculous single pine tree, and the reason why it is standing here today, as opposed to all of the other pine trees that were used to be here but are gone, is because of this building. This used to be a youth hostel, but as the tsunami wave came in, as you can see, it's pretty destroyed. But because of the location of the pine tree right behind the youth hostel, it was kind of shielded from the most heavy damage, and that's why it survived standing. And it is the only pine tree, as you can see, that still survives. I think a fly just flew into my head, but that still survived the wave. This is without a doubt the most busy place that we've been to so far on this trip. There's a ton of people here. I believe it's kind of in anticipation of the anniversary. People are coming here because otherwise there's no explanation why there should be so many people here on a Tuesday, on a weekday. But yeah, tons of people here, but it's a really interesting museum. Inside you have kind of 4 different spaces. One is kind of more general information about earthquakes and their effects. The other one is kind of the actual facts about the earthquake here. You can see like what happened exactly. You can see how strong the earthquake was, how it affected different areas. And then the third section is kind of a future outlook. It's kind of supposed to be looking at some of the mistakes that were made, some of the good things that were made during the kind of construction, during the aftermath of the earthquake. And it's kind of like an outlook to the future. And then the fourth section is just kind of the place that we were last, which is kind of like a souvenir store and local produce store, and also a restaurant, which is really full, by the way. If you were trying to eat here, it gets so full at lunchtime we had to wait for like 40 minutes to get our food. But yeah, we have around 1.5 hours left now, because the bus is also running very infrequently, only one bus every 2 hours roughly. So if you're planning on coming by public transportation, something to keep in mind. So I'm just gonna take some more videos, take all of those, everything here in, and then we're gonna continue onwards. Yeah, would recommend coming here if you can. It is very close to which I'm not sure if it's close to most things, so it would be going out of their way to get here, but I think it is still worth it. And yeah, if you want to come here again, you will have to take the kind of train replacement bus all the way to Kiseki no Ippomatsu station, which is right in front of the museum. And yeah, right now we are going to be taking that bus again. We're going to be continuing for around 30 minutes, and then we're going to be riding with trains again all the way to Matsushima. It's going to be night by the time we arrive, so probably not much more else. So yeah, let's just enjoy the really scenic train ride. That's in it. And we are now in Matsushima. We are in our ryokan slash minshuku. Very simple, but we have our amenities, we have our pyjama and everything. And yeah, I got some bad news. Unfortunately, my camera died earlier while we were filming, so for the next 3 days I'm going to be filming on this smaller camera. So if you're wondering why the audio quality is worse or the video quality, it's because I'm only filming on the small action cam. But yeah, we're now in Matsushima. We're gonna be staying here for 2 nights. Tomorrow we're gonna go to Cat Island, which is gonna be a very interesting experience, just being surrounded by cats. We already got some cat food. And then after that we're gonna just check out around Matsushima, I guess, which has one of the best free views in Japan. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Just gonna eat something and take a really nice rest for tomorrow's adventure at Cat Island. Good night.